Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is VIN0707, VIN 707. Just popped up on Auto Trader. It is a ultrasonic blue mica, paint code 8X1 with an LA10, which is Stratus Gray interior. It's kind of the white grayish interior, and it's been a California car its whole life. It's for sale at Lexus of Roseville in California, and they don't actually have pictures of it yet. So all I have to go off of is previous stuff, and I can tell you what to look for. If they do post pictures and other information, I'll update this video, but for now, this is what I've got to go on. So it's a 2016. It is one of those call for price cars right now. It has 54,000 miles, and as far as production goes, there were 269 ultrasonic blue mica GSFs produced from 16 to 2020, and there's 2,347 cars that have been identified for the US 49 market, so that's everywhere except Hawaii. Of those 269 cars, 71 had Stratus Gray. Stratus Gray was only offered on 2016 and 2017 models, most of them being 2016s. So for 2016 only, 177 out of the 1,417 cars for the US 49 were ultrasonic blue mica 2.0, the paint code 8X1. Of those 177, little under half, not quite, 67 had LA10 or Stratus Gray interior. So that makes this car one of 67. As far as rarity goes, it's probably on the more common side of combinations, being one of 67. The rarer ones are like less than 10. So yeah, this is more common as far as color combinations go. Jumping into the Carfax, Epic VIN, and AutoCheck. Carfax shows it as a 3-owner, 1-accident car, July 30th of 2019 in the front. It doesn't give any other details other than that. Epic VIN shows it as a 4-owner, no accident. AutoCheck shows it as a 3-owner, no accident. That's why it's important to check all three of those sources, or at a minimum, Carfax and AutoCheck. Carfax is the only one that shows the accident, the other two don't. So previous sales for this car, when it was first for sale, January 2016 for $87,000 in California. September of 2020 for $58,000 with 33,000 miles, also in California. And August 3rd of 2025, 54,000 miles with a question mark for how much they want for it right now. I hate when they do that call for price, but it is what it is. I'm sure they will update it. Lexus dealers usually post the price. It's just, I think they wanted to get the information out there so people were interested in the car, wanted to call and inquire about it. And here I am doing my digging as well. For the service history, I'm giving you a little bit more in depth on the service history on this one just because I don't have any pictures to go off of. But when it was new, March of 2016, it said applied auto shield and they subletted it off-site. So I don't know if auto shield is paint protection film or if it's the sealant that a lot of dealers put on that's kind of BS, but that would be something to inspect on this car, see if it has paint protection film on the front. If it does, it's 9 years old. I would look at replacing that paint protection film if that's the case. Paint protection film, usually 7 to 10 years is about the maximum you want to leave it on the front of a car before you replace it. It can start cracking, peeling, turning color, what have you. So that's something to inspect, see if it has paint protection film. August of 2018, 19,000 miles, the JLB high pressure fuel pumps, that recall, that was done. Good that that's sorted. November of 2018 at 20,000 miles, they prepped it for certified pre-owned. So new tires, new brakes. They also replaced some of the carbon fiber trim pieces. That's again a common issue on these. Glad to see that it's done. A month later, December of 2018, they did a wheel repair. Again, nothing to worry about there. January 19, so another month later, the fuel pump was buzzing. It was making noise. That's the low pressure fuel pump. Very common issue on these cars, and there is a reprogram for that module. Well, that was done here, and they also did a navigation update at the same time. There is an issue that plagued some of these navigation screens, or the head units, basically, where the screen would either turn black or it would turn pink and just shut off. And there was an update for some of the software, some of the programming for it, and it was a customer service program. They had a bulletin about it, and it would usually address it, not always. And so it looks like that's what they tried to do here. And June of 2019, yet again, some more carbon fiber trim replacement. It looks like 2 services because the first piece, it arrived damaged, so then they had to schedule a second service and then it looks like it was done. November of 19, more carbon fiber delamination. You know, you see a theme here. December of 2019, more screen issues, and it looks like this time they went ahead and replaced the head unit. So I know that's very expensive to do, likely replaced under warranty since it's 3 years. February of 2020, yet again, even more carbon fiber parts replaced, so that's good. I think between all of those, I think all of the front 5 have been replaced. It's the left front, right front, and the 2 on the doors and the center console. Those are the 5 pieces that delaminate commonly. Not to say the others don't, but those are the 5 pieces that usually do it. January of 2021, a check engine light was on, and it was for an exhaust leak. They replaced the mid pipe and one of the exhaust manifolds. And I've seen this on other cars too. I wouldn't call it a common issue, but it does occur. And it's basically the welds on some of these were pretty poor, and they would crack at the welds and have a leak. And the answer, of course, obviously out of warranty, you can still weld them back up and repair them, but in warranty, they would use, especially if you go to the dealer, they would just replace them. And I'll show you here. So this is the exhaust manifold. You know, so I have equal length headers on this car, so I have the originals, and I wanted to show you some of the welds, and you'll see why they break. So pretty apparent that those are hand welded. And if you look closely there, you can see there's kind of some lacking in the quality of the welds. And the catalytic converters, those look all right, but the rest of these, it leaves a little to be desired for the weld quality. And so, you know, it'll break where there's tension from the exhaust moving around because there is not a flex tube on this factory exhaust. So it'll break right there. It'll break at this flange here and on the other side on the mid pipe. That's nothing to be worried about when you see that in the service history. It's just something that happens with these cars. It's unfortunate, not common, but it does happen. I have seen more than a few that have had that issue. So then on to December of 2021, 43,000 miles, there was an oil leak that was reported, and when they investigated it, it was coming from the high pressure fuel pump gasket. There's a little O-ring that sits on the valve cover for each of the fuel pumps. There's one on the left, one on the right, towards the back of the engine. And this had the recall done, but I guess maybe something didn't sit right and it just worked itself loose, so there was a little oil leak. I've seen that in a couple other service histories as well. The gasket's very inexpensive, and it was addressed here. So 1 month later, January 2022, the navigation screen is black yet again. So they tried to fix it, they tried to do the update, they replaced it, and the replacement is still having issues. So the navigation screen is black yet again, and they also reported a clunk in the front end, but they couldn't replicate it. After this, it's just regular service oil changes. January 2025 at 54,000 miles being the last service reported. So I guess from the outside looking in, the things I would look at on this car that have not been addressed. There are the common issues with the lower front control arms, the inner tire wear. So basically, if you're gonna look at this car, turn the wheels all the way and look at the insides of the tires. If they look like they're worn, you're gonna need lower control arm bushings pretty soon. The coolant valley plate, you've heard me talk about it in other videos. There's no evidence on the Lexus service history of it being done. So that's something that on a mechanical inspection on this car, I would definitely put a scope underneath the intake manifold and see if you see that pink crusty coolant in there. If that's the case, again, you're gonna be on the hook for at a minimum of $1,000, maybe $2,000 or more dollars, depending on what else needs to be replaced in there. But the coolant valley plate is an issue that is heat cycle and time related. It's not necessarily mileage related. So you could see it on a car with 20,000 miles, or you may have one that it may not do it until 200,000 miles. It just depends. Mine's a 16. It had it done last year, 2024, at about 52,000 miles. So, you know, that's, the car was 8 years old at the time and had the coolant valley plate leak. A lot of 16s and 17s, you're seeing it right around this time. You're seeing a lot of people that are reporting, hey, I'm smelling coolant. I'm seeing coolant dripping on the ground. Well, That's what it is. So definitely worth inspecting on this car to see if that's an issue. I know it is for sale at Lexus, but it probably, because of the age, it won't be a certified pre-owned car. It'll just be their regular used car with no warranty. So the only other thing that I really see that may come up and bite you is that black screen with the navigation unit or the head unit. Looks like it's been an issue in the past. They tried to address it again. It's still having issues. It's hard to say, like, when you get in the car and turn it on, it's either going to work or it's not. You know, that's it. But I don't know if it's going to be heat related or what the issue is, but those head units are pretty expensive if you have to replace them. And there is no further updates for the software for it. So if it's turning black again, you're going to have to replace it. So those would be the gotchas I see. All the carbon fiber trim looks like it's been replaced. You know, I don't have pictures to go off of yet. So obviously do the usual visual inspection, look closely at the carbon fiber pieces, look closely at the headlights for moisture, look closely at the taillights for bubbling or any signs of moisture there. The rest of it, just, you know, your regular common sense. But I think this looks like it has the potential to be a good one. It has that one accident on the front, doesn't give any other issues. It could have been a fender bender, it could have been a parking lot scrape that was just turned in under insurance, who knows. But just visual inspection is what this one's going to take, and of course a mechanical inspection. But I think this has the potential, as I said, to be a pretty good one. Check it out if that's something you're interested in. The price, I think for this, they don't have it for sale yet, but I would say around $48,000 to $52,000 is probably where this car needs to be. Here's some of the recent 2016 sales with similar mileage, so you can see that I think that that's probably where it needs to be. I think, I'm just guessing here, and again, this is before the dealer puts it out. I bet the dealer's going to put it out for like 54 to 56 would be my guess. I could be wrong. They may put it for 60 plus, who knows? But I think that the dealer's probably going to price it mid to upper 50s, and it's probably worth upper 40s to lower 50s. That's kind of where it's at. And that's what I've seen with these other cars that have popped up for sale, especially ones like these that don't really have any stories. Pretty well sorted as long as it has a good mechanical inspection. So again, carbon fiber, lower control arms, valley plate. Those are the three things, and of course the navigation on this one. That's it. So let me know if you guys bought this, if you see any other pictures, and if I see anything else, I will update this, of course, with an updated video. So thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon.